Good morning, you guys. Good morning. Good morning. Again, I told you guys that I was going to be covering the candidates that are on the ballot for Broward County for our August primaries, and I am going to do just that. So buckle up. Buckle up because, yeah. Today I am covering the clerk of the circuit court. And I hope that some of these candidates have gotten some things together since the last time I perused their stuff. Good morning, Jay. How are you, Jeff? So let me just go ahead and share with you some information. So just so you know, um, here is the, of course, this has not changed very much, but I just wanted to cover this information here because I did not scroll this last time. So I wanted to make sure I covered this. Make sure you read these things, all of this stuff for yourself. Understand. I will probably go over this towards the end, just so you all know what's going on. It's very controversial here about the voting rights for felons. Some things have been just back and forth here in the state of Florida. So it's America. That's all I can say. Excuse me. So just understand what the election days are, as well as the deadlines to register. What is the deadline for the primary for August? July 20th. You need to make sure you are registered to vote by July 20th if you want to vote in our August 18th primary. For November 3rd, you need to be registered to vote by October 5th. So please make sure that you check your voter registration information. This information also for mail-in ballots. If you want to vote by mail, you need to send your request in by July 4th. The same for the November. Your request needs to be in by September 19th. This is for those people, and these dates are for people who are overseas. If you are stateside, these are your deadlines for requesting a mail-in ballot. Okay, y'all, come on. You just need to make sure that you just have your stuff together. So let's get into these candidates that, and it ain't changed, y'all. This page is not changed. It's embarrassing. It should not look like this. But okay, so these are the candidates for, this is not just the 11/3/2020 election cycle. This is for our clerk of court. This is stuff coming up in August. So this has been updated since last week, because all of this was not here. So all of these people, Howard Foreman did not qualify because he had already pulled out of the race that was in the news. They just hadn't updated it. So he actually pulled out of the race and chose not to run against his ex-wife, Brenda Foreman. Michael Francis, he was already inactive and withdrawn. Chris Hughley is now withdrawn, which we figured because there was no money raised. And Anthony Robbins is now not qualified. He did not qualify. Even though he had tremendous money here, he did not qualify. So we are down to three candidates for clerk of the circuit court. I can tell you that some of these people, when you looked at the website, it was just like, well, what are you running for? What are you going to do? So yeah, I just want to say that for supervisor of elections, we already covered all of these people. Carla Spalding, we didn't cover her because she had already withdrawn. So as you can see, there are a lot of things that people who are now that the qualifying process has come to a close and we know who's running. You see now, at first, last week, Wholeness was the only one here. There was nobody else here. So now you've got two other people, somebody who's a write-in candidate. So just that quick in a week, things can change. Just that quick in a week. It has. So just as a little FYI, so you can see now some things have changed since last week when we went live. And so Just stay tuned. This is why I'm doing this, so you can be informed and know who's running, what's going on, all of that good stuff. So we're going to look at Paul Bachman and see what he has to offer, what he's saying about his role as why he's running for circuit court. And let's see what he has. Does he have anything other than, what's out here about Paul Bachman for clerk of court? And it's okay. You're going to see people that's going to say, this is clerk of the circuit court. That's the official title. But most people will just have clerk of court. They don't have clerk of the circuit court. So it's just not surprising to see that. Okay. So if you see somebody that says clerk of court, most of the time, especially on signs, different stuff like that, it is not unheard of. So, just as an FYI. So let's see if he has a website. One of the things that I want to say to you is he does have a website, but when you do a basic Google search for him, the first thing that comes up is going to be like a CBS, or there's a news article about him when he was a judge. But the first thing that comes up is his Facebook page instead of his actual web address, which I find very interesting. So let me just go ahead and share with you his website, and we're going to take a look at Paul Bachman to see what he is running on. So Broward's clerk of courts, he would reorganize the office from top to bottom. So here's where he's looking at streamlining the filing process to expedite court assignments, revamp document control, establish a process and procedures between courtrooms and jails, establish respective partnership with the clerk's office for all users, responsive and efficient coordination for attorneys in court filings, compliance with Florida statutes and Florida law. So a lot of this, people like me, none of this makes any sense. This may as well be rocket science to me. But I like the fact that he is specifically outlining his initiatives and what he wants to do. So it's on me to dig deeper into what this means as far as responsiveness for attorneys in court filings, respect and partnership with clerk offices for all users. What does that mean? What are some of the issues that are going on in our courthouses? Procedures between courtrooms and jails. What does that mean? Document control. I kind of understand what that means. Streamlining filing processes. That, some things are by deductive reasoning, but there are other things that we just probably have to dig deeper on to find out what it means. And so he has 4 ways to support him. You can request a yard sign, host a meet and greet, volunteer for him, and donate. So he has served as a judge. I recommend that you look at his record to see if you're comfortable with him being the clerk of court. What has his record been as a judge? So let's meet him. And so do your due diligence. This is just a brief overview. I just strongly recommend that you dig deeper for yourself. You need to know what these offices mean for you and your loved ones. You don't know what you may have to go to court for. If you know people who've gotten the runaround, that it's just a headache and it's a pain, then obviously this is important. Okay. So again, this August primary, this is your local election. We need you to vote. Period. Point blank. He's a Long Island native. He earned his degree from John Marshall Law School in Chicago back in 1975. So he's not new to the law. I wasn't even born. I'm just going to say that. But hey, he has raised 2 sons in Broward County. So he has roots here in Broward County, obviously. So he served as a circuit bench judge for 20 years in the criminal divisions of repeat offenders and violent criminals. You want to look at his record. I'm just saying, you want to look at his record. For this alone of where he has served, repeat offenders and violent criminals, you want to take a look. He's been in the criminal division. You need to look at his record. What does that mean? He was an administrative judge for 8 years. supervising 16 different divisions. What's his record? What does that mean for Broward? Here are some of his accomplishments and programs, things that he's been about. Take a look at these things for yourselves. Dig deeper. Again, I say dig deeper. Endorsed by the Fraternal Order of Police. Right now, as a Black person, this is a red flag. That doesn't mean good, bad, or indifferent, but it's a flag. This would make me want to dig deeper because we know what police unions do. So is this going to be someone who is going to be for all? We don't know. He cares. As your next clerk of courts, I'll make the changes needed to improve service and procedures at every level of the office. That is what his promise is. So his endorsements, we already know that that he's been endorsed. He's been endorsed by the Teamsters, local union 769, the Fraternal Order of Police. Says a lot. So that's one candidate. That is Paul Bachman. And or Backman, excuse me, and that's who's running for the clerk of courts. Let's look at Brenda Foreman for the clerk of court. I don't even know, to be honest, if she has her own website. If you look her up, it's going to show up. If you put Brenda Foreman, I believe she's the current clerk of court. You're just going to see it pulls up the Broward County Clerk of Court. You're going to see stuff about her in the news, even last year of being under criminal investigation. You can look, it's going to show you, I see stuff from the Broward County Bar Association, but I do not actually see a website, to be honest, but I'm going to keep digging. Let's see. She has a Facebook page, elect Brenda D. Foreman for Broward County Clerk of Court. Let's see if she has a website. And she does not. So we're just going to take a look at her Facebook page because this is what she has available. And that's all I can say. I think sometimes just because you are the incumbent doesn't mean that you should not put forth the effort to really put forth a full website for yourself, especially when there's so much controversy surrounding you as the candidate. So much. So on her about page, this is all you get. That's it. Literally, that's it. For posts, this is it. And the last thing that was posted was 2016. There is nothing new, but you see people are posting, when will she go to jail? That's it. There's nothing else. I have literally looked. There is nothing else out here other than the current Broward County Clerk of Court. You see Broward Bar has information about her, but you do not. You see the Sun Sentinel. You see articles in the Law Review. But there is literally nothing else in here. I don't see a website at all for her on what she's running on other than just being the incumbent. This is all you have on her. I see Howard C. Foreman's website, but he is no longer running. So there's nothing else here. This is all we have on Brenda Foreman. This is all you have. And this page has not been obviously managed since 2016. That should tell you everything you need to know about her as a candidate. The last candidate for Clerk of the Circuit Court is Mark Allen Spicer. See, yes, Mark Allen Spicer. And let's see if we have a website for him. I see 17th Courts, Broward Bar. There's nothing else. But I do see something where it says There was a special report on WSVN from last year that says him working for free for something. So let's see if I can find anything on this guy. So there's not much else out here, to be honest. I just see that he is a judge. And that's it. There literally is not a website. There is a change.org request. There is a petition out here to remove him from the bench. Information from Florida Ballotpedia, but this man does not have a website that talks about why he wants to be the clerk of court. Honestly, I promise you, there's nothing out here. So those are your candidates, Broward, for clerk of court. We're in a mess. We're in a mess. And this is why it's important to vote. This is why it's important to know the candidates, know what's out there, and what's available. And this is what we have to choose from. Welcome to Broward County. So that's it for today, because that's all our candidates for the clerk of court. The next time that I go live, I will be covering, Jesus. It's going to be a battle, but we will be tackling sheriff. There are a lot of candidates for sheriff right now. And, there are a lot of them. And we're going to look at all of them. Of course, we're not going to look at the ones that don't qualify or withdrawn. You see, there's a write-in candidate here that has qualified. So listen, there's a lot to take a look at. There are a lot of people. Listen, don't just look at money. That's all I'm going to say. But we're going to take a look at the office of sheriff in the next live, when I go live again. It might be later this week or next week, but I am committed to going through this. So we're going to take a look at the candidates for sheriff. And as you can see, we have a lot of them. And we're going to take a look at them again and see what's available, see what's out there, see what we can learn. Don't just take my word for it. Maybe these other two people, Brenda Foreman and Mark Spicer, will get it together and have some websites and have some information available that will help us see and know what they're about, what they're going to do, what they want, what they're willing to do. But, for now, that's all you have. Again, we're just going to go ahead and tackle the sheriff next. I've already done the supervisor elections. I started with them first for a reason. Again, so the next time I go live, we'll be covering the candidates for sheriff for Broward County. And we're just going to keep going. Property appraiser is running unopposed, but that doesn't mean you still don't need to know about the property appraisers. Same thing for some of these county commissions. These people are running unopposed. That doesn't mean you still don't need to know what they are about. Okay. So I'll still be showing these people District 7, again. So we're going to take a look at all of these different areas. You're going to see write-in candidates, and as you see here. So we're going to take a look at these candidates. And I encourage you, if you're not in Broward County, if you have a primary coming up, and there are a lot of states that do have primaries coming up, I want to encourage you to do the same thing that I'm doing. Go down the ballot. Take a look at these people. This is how you vote with a conscience. You have to be informed about the candidates. Who are these people? What are they running on? Who is supporting them? Because you have to understand that advocacy groups support candidates that are going to push their initiatives and what they want at your expense. It's not always about the community. It's about who's got the ear of the candidate, of the person with the power. So that's what it means to vote with a conscience. You need to know who's on the ballot. What are your choices? And Lord Broward, we got some work to do. So that's it. Love you guys, and have a fantastic day. Bye.